Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be continuing with if Naruto had the powers of Eren. But before we get into that, I would please like to remind you all to leave a like on the video. It does take me a fair amount of time to edit them now since I'm doing more in the video. So it is a little bit upsetting to see them not getting as many likes. But that's neither here or there. Y'all do what y'all please, I guess. Let's get into the video. So as Naruto gets to his house and he opens up his door, he's like getting this, like he's sensing that there's people in his house. So him knowing this information, he knowingly opens the door because he knows who it is. It's Jiraiya, Itachi, and Guy Sensei, but he doesn't really mess with Guy, so he's confused as to why Guy is there. So they tell Naruto, due to the fact that the Chunin exams are so close, they decided that they were going to take him to a very far away place to test his abilities. And at the same time they're saying this, Sasuke is walking up to the door with Kakashi because they were supposed to get in a training session with Naruto to test out his abilities. But before they could get there, Naruto shut and locked his door and they all vanished out. So Kakashi tells Sasuke that they literally just missed Naruto. And Sasuke was like, I'm not an idiot. I clearly sensed his presence disappear along with the three in his room. And Kakashi was interested as to why Guy was there, so he decided that he was going to try to trail Naruto, Itachi, and Jiraiya and Guy Sensei. So he tells Sasuke that he should stay in the village while he goes and sees what they're trying to do. And Sasuke tells him like, hell I am, I'm coming with you. So they're like getting ready to leave the village. And out of nowhere, Sakura was coming to check on Naruto too. So like as they're walking away from Naruto's house, Sakura sees them and she crouches down like behind some dumpsters or whatever. And Kakashi turns around and was like, do you really think that you can hide your presence from me? And Sakura just walked out from behind the garbage can and was like, and Kakashi was like, if you wanted to come, you could have just said so. You didn't have to try to trail us because you suck at it. Come on. And she angrily walked up to Kakashi and was like, you didn't have to say it like that. And she proceeded to like follow them out the Leaf Village. So I'm gonna say like a couple of hours pass and Naruto and Guy Sensei have been in a fight for like the past couple of hours. And Naruto, underneath the assumption that, because you know, he couldn't sense a lot of chakra from Guy Sensei to begin with. I don't know why I keep calling him Guy Sensei, I just think that sounds fucking hilarious. So, as like they're fighting, Naruto's like Titan body has been beaten like to almost damn near pulp because Guy is using his like, I'm gonna say the 5th gate on Naruto's Titan body. And Naruto hasn't had that much practice with it, and Guy just amped his just amped his speed and strength dramatically. So yeah, I was gonna say dramatically. I'm out here inventing new words and shit. So as like they're fighting, Kakashi gets there and he sees like Naruto's Titan form is like literally almost destroyed. So confused, he goes to ask Jiraiya what they're planning, like what are they doing, and Jiraiya was like, they're gauging Naruto's power right now, but it looks like he's about to do something. So everybody gets quiet and they're looking on, and like Guy jumps back after delivering a flurry of blows to Naruto and tells him that if he can't do something of significance here, he might just like die from this attack. So Naruto, sensing the danger, Guy unleashes the sixth gate, and Naruto tries to block it, like he can't get hit by this. That's the only thing going through his mind right now, is that he can't get hit by whatever Guy is planning on doing. So as Guy is rushing in, Naruto holds out like his hand, because although Guy is doing a kick, so Naruto could grab his hand, like grab his foot, because Naruto's Titan form is like 15 feet tall, if I'm not mistaken. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, whatever. So, like as he grabs Guy's hand and the dust cloud disappears, Naruto's hand is covered is encased in Titan crystal. And Guy tries to like get away from Naruto, but he's unsuccessful, so he has to go into the seventh gate to break Naruto's fingers so he will be able to get released. And the only reason why Guy had to go inside not the eighth gate, but the seventh gate, was due to the fact that he had no more momentum. So even if he was to attempt to get loose, it would take him a hell of a lot longer, giving Naruto just enough time to rip him in two. Okay, now that that's all said and done with, yeah, I'm not like making Guy weaker. I'm keeping it a bar. Naruto barely controls his Titan forms as it is. So Naruto probably will have the tendency to try to bite someone in half if he grabs them, or tear them in half. So like Naruto deactivates his Titan form, and when they look at Naruto, they see like these weird things like all on his eyes, but they look like they've been draining, and like they're muscle fibers. So Jiraiya and Itachi goes and looks at him, and Itachi tells him that it's my turn, and Kakashi tells Jiraiya and Itachi that maybe they should give Naruto a few minutes to cool down. And Naruto, like still in like the heat of the moment, quite literally, turns around and tells Kakashi that he's fine, and he Titan forms back up, and ever so slightly, the green tinge of his Titan formed eyes turns like a slightish orange color, and Naruto's like hands become like a tad bit sharper, like as if he were as if he were growing claws, and so it did his teeth. So Kakashi, immediately noticing what this is, he tells Jiraiya, and Jiraiya was like, I am completely aware of that seal is currently weakening. But if this can progress Naruto past a certain point, I'll stop the seal where it is, and Naruto can only use that small amount of chakra that he can gain from the Nine Tails right there. And Kakashi tells him that maybe he should do that now so Naruto doesn't go completely out of control. We don't know what the full extent of this ability is, and we don't want the Nine Tails to come out, because that's like an entirely new threat all in its own right. So Jiraiya looks at Kakashi and tells him that he is completely aware of the circumstances and the position that he's putting himself in, and if anything is to come of this in a bad manner, he will take full responsibility for it. But until something bad happens, Kakashi needs to let him be with the, I don't necessarily know their, I'm gonna say, yeah, training person, you know, yeah, I don't necessarily know what their relationship was. All I understood was that was Minato's teacher. So I just assume that that's the only thing drawing them to each other, or he's like the godfather. Yeah, I'm gonna just say like his godson. So like as he's telling Kakashi this, Kakashi feeling the hostility coming off Jiraiya just a tad, he backs off, because he's never really you know, had hostility coming off Jiraiya. Jiraiya's always been like this kind of laid back dude. So getting hostility from Jiraiya, you know you did something wrong. So he's sitting back and Itachi is just lighting Naruto up with like fireballs. And as like they're paying attention, the crystal on Naruto's body is moving around trying to like prevent the fireballs from burning him. And it's getting faster because Itachi is all over the battlefield. And Naruto, all he has to do is close the distance a little bit. That's what they told him. He had to defend himself from Guy, and he has to close the distance with Itachi. So like Naruto slowly moving forward, and Itachi is using like this massive flame control, like he's just spewing fire at him at this point. So Naruto is like hardening the full front part of his body, but it's draining him because he has to extend the crystal. So as he's like extending the crystal all throughout the front part of his body to preventing himself from getting burned, he's losing more chakra, and you can visibly see it because not only was he resisting the flames, but he was slowing down at the same time. So Naruto, like in the midst of this, he tries to like do like not even like get closer to Itachi. He just tries to like jump out the way of the flame so he can get a break or two, like so he can get like a few seconds, because it is uberly hot where he is, because he's like directly in the center of the flame. He's not toward the end of it. Itachi's blowing it, like it's big enough to engulf Naruto. So like Naruto jumps out of the flame and his eyes turn just a slight tinge like redder, and Itachi activates his second Tomoe. So Itachi tells Naruto that maybe they should, you know, take a break. And Naruto tells him that he's fine and that they should keep going. So Itachi disappears and Naruto just books it toward where he believes, where he senses Itachi's energy. So when Itachi reappears, Naruto is within like, I'm gonna say 30 feet of him. So like right before Itachi could like attack, Naruto completely stopped, like dead in his tracks. And he looks up at the ridge and he like comes out the back part of the Titan, not completely dissolving it, still sitting in it, but the Titan form is linked over. And he asks the people over on the ridge, can he help them? And when Itachi and Jiraiya and everyone else look over, they see that it's a bunch of stone shinobi, and like complete like confusion and fear and anger is all welled up with inside them, because they know that that's the Nine Tails, but they know the Nine Tails is a fox, not a giant man thing. So them like not knowing what to do, they immediately start trying to like, you know, they're trying to gather the words. So they're just standing there whispering amongst themselves until like the general, like the leader of their team steps forward. Oh, like the small army that got dispatched to the location that they were in, due to the fact that they were like in the dead zone of like in between the Leaf and the Stone Village. So when the leader gets up, he tells, like when the leader steps forward, he tells Naruto and Itachi that they shouldn't be training out here if they're Leaf Shinobi. And why exactly does the Nine Tails looks like he has some other uncanny ability that the Leaf Village failed to tell us? And Itachi, immediately getting angry because now this is disrupting his training match with Naruto, tells them that this is none of their concern. They should leave while they still have the chance. And Naruto tells him that maybe they should, because honestly, he's not in the mood. And they look at Naruto's eyes and they're definitely a bright red at this point. So Jiraiya, immediately noticing that Naruto is like 3 moments away from, you know, forming the tailed beast bomb, he like runs up and he puts another seal on the back of Naruto. So now the seal for Naruto is on the back, was like on the nape of his neck. If you know where I'm going with it, it's like on the nape of his neck, and it's a new seal preventing the Nine Tails from going past the point that he's at now. So Naruto, as of right now, can no longer drain chakra from the Nine Tails. Naruto is only going to have close to like the Two Tails state and power right now. So, like, Jiraiya tells Naruto what he just did because it, like, visibly put Naruto in some discomfort. And the ninja tells Naruto that maybe he should go back to the Leaf Village if he's so concerned about what that Sannin just did to him. And realizing the severity of the situation, because that's a Sannin, that's Itachi, and there's the copy ninja of the Leaf and Might Guy, they immediately try to call in for some reinforcement. So they send their fastest shinobi back to the Stone Village because they're not going to leave unless they have the Nine Tails in their possession. That was their orders. So Itachi tells him that they have no intention of leaving, do they? Well, asks them, do they have any intention of leaving? And the ninja on the ridge tells him that they have orders to bring back the Nine Tails at all costs. And Naruto Titan forms back up, and Itachi was like, even if that means risking your lives, some of you have families and you're willing to throw your lives away for this meaningless cause of war. And as Itachi says this, the leader tells him that they have nothing better else to do besides, the dude's a kid, and whatever that thing is, as we've seen, you have to get close, it has to get close enough to you, and we're not going to let that happen. And Itachi, realizing that Naruto isn't going to be able to contain himself for very much longer, Naruto is in his Titan form, breathing heavy, and he's ready to go. So Itachi activates his third Tomoe, and Jiraiya, he sighs, and Guy was like, okay. And Kakashi tells Sasuke and Sakura to just, stay put, and if anybody gets too close, he'll deal with them. So Naruto starts running forward, and the captain of the little army that he got behind him, I'm gonna say it was an army of 100 men, 100 shinobi. So the little army he got behind him, he tells them not to let the giant man creature thing get close to him. So they all scatter and they start fighting, and Itachi, Jiraiya, and Guy have almost wiped out around 10 of them already. And when the leader turns back, Naruto is standing directly in front of him, and he looks up, and Naruto grabs him, and he comes out the Titan form, and he's like, what was that about, not letting me get too close to you? Oh yeah, right. And he goes back into the Titan form, and he proceeds to tear dude in half and throw his corpse in front of his second command, the person that was in second command of the army. And realizing the severity of the situation, Itachi appears on the shoulder of Naruto, asking them, are they sure that they want to continue this interesting choice that they've made? And Jiraiya appears next to Naruto's, he's leaning up against Naruto's leg, and he's like, I don't think they should. And Guy appears in front, and he's like, you know what? This has been some good training. You guys want to go again? And everybody that they've knocked out or have killed, is just laid out across the floor. I'm going to say they killed around, there was 100, so I'm going to say they killed 40 and knocked out the rest as a lesson to the Stone Village. So Naruto tells the captain that maybe he should leave while he still has the chance, given the fact that now you're in command, because I don't think your captain here could spare the words. And when he looks down at his captain's face is in complete and utter horror at the fact that this massive 15-foot tall creature could close the distance as fast as it did. So, like, the dude starts gathering up his troops, and the reinforcements that were supposed to come got there like 5 minutes later after Naruto and the rest of his group has disappeared. And when the rest of their soldiers get there, they're like, what the hell happened here? And when they see that the captain of their squad was ripped in half, they're like, some of them begin to throw up, others are in complete and utter horror, and the ones that went to go get them realize what the hell just happened to him. And he tells them that, like, right before they left, the commander had a plan to not let that thing get close to them. Apparently it did, so that's not good. So when Naruto and them get back to the Leaf Village, it's around, like, it's about to be night, like the sun is coming down. And Itachi tells Naruto that maybe he shouldn't have, ripped him in half. Maybe they could have went somewhere completely different with that. He didn't have to resort to killing him. And Naruto was like, let's be honest, people like that don't deserve to exist. If you're willing to throw away your life for something that you know you can't get, you're worse than the shinobi that are willing to run away for theirs, because at least they can live to fight another day. You'll just die fighting a worthless cause. Think about it. They chose that fight with so many people there that were high ranking in the Leaf Village's forces. And Itachi was like, you're not wrong. They definitely came in there like they had power, but they were so weak it wasn't even funny. And Naruto was like, yeah, my point exactly. They were strong for, just regular shinobi, but for you to be an Uchiha, Might Guy to be, Might Guy, and Jiraiya to be a legendary Sannin, and the copy ninja of the Leaf is there, there's no way that they were winning that fight, even if I wasn't there. And Itachi tells Naruto that, he's not necessarily wrong, because Itachi really does not like the Stone Village because of some things I'm going to explain later in the series. But he don't like the Stone Village at all. So Naruto begins to head home, and this is when Sakura pulls him off to the side. And this is where I'm going to end this part off. If you enjoy the video, drop a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace.